Do you come from beyond Earth?
In 2019 at Bard College, the student residents of the dorm Spruce began noticing abnormal sounds coming from their closet in the middle of the night. Their claims were not taken seriously by most, and now they are turning to the video world to tell their story. My first interviewee was Joe Nabler. Not the first person to hear the sounds, but the first person to interpret them. Joe agreed to meet with me during his game of Magic the Gathering with his friend William.
Are you ready to do us all?
No.
Joe, being very eccentric, insisted upon playing his music. So Joe, can you tell us a little bit about the weird stuff you've been noticing going on around Spruce?
Yes. Well, it all really began when Arlo woke me up. Is it your turn? Okay. It all began when Arlo woke me up at 2 or 3 in the morning. Was like, we've got some fucking terrifying noises going on. Basically, I showed up and I was like, God, these guys are on fucking some shit, some fucking terrible stuff. Because Arlo was fully like, I can't take it anymore, it's getting crazy, and Liam was just wilding out. The longer I sat in the room, I started hearing air trumpets. I don't really know how to describe it. It was there was an orchestra in the sky outside. Shortly after that, we started hearing, he told me there was whispers emanating from somewhere in the room. And sure enough, as that, noises in the sky. Are you swinging with all? How much is that?
4.
I tap 1, Healing Grace, prevent the next 3 damage that would be dealt to any target.
It was difficult to get Joe to focus, but eventually he told us everything we needed to know. Do you have any theories as to what it might be? Do you really think it's a ghost?
Well, certainly it's of an extra-dimensional nature. So there was a group of people in Arlo's room, and we were all listening to the noises happening. And as we left to go somewhere, I forget exactly, we all left the room, and someone had accidentally closed the door. And Arlo was like, oh wait, I forgot something, and he went back, and sure enough, the door was fucking locked. It locked by itself. And what I believe that to be is almost like a... are you swinging?
Yeah. No, I'm blocking too.
Wait, did I draw yet? And I think that was the being or the ghost or the demon or whatever, some sort of entity, was trying to make a physical manifestation of itself. Because, as we all know, spirits and, otherworldly entities seek to have some sort of physical manifestation in this realm, whether that's unwilling humans who have been influenced by its energies or whatever, or even something as minor as a speaker, i.e. a representation for its mouth through which it's able to project messages, and a representation of the eyes through which it can perceive the world. So yeah, that's my theory. I think it's some sort of, if it is indeed real and not just someone fucking with all of us, it's definitely some sort of demon from another dimension that's breached through a ley line that's somehow under Spruce.
Next, I interviewed Arlo, the person to whom the ghost first appeared. Alright. Arlo, what do you think about what's going on here?
It's fucked, man. It was fucked. I can go to sleep now, but until the past week, I literally was sleeping on Joe's floor, which, if you look at his interview, you're gonna know the conditions weren't ideal.
All right, so why don't you give me a rundown of how this all started for you?
So it started at 2 a.m. on a Thursday night, I believe. I was in the dorm by myself, and I started hearing a noise. And there was no one else in the dorm, or no one else even, like, really awake. So I really thought I was going crazy. But luckily, later that night, my roommate eventually came back. And he started hearing it too, and it was such a nice moment because I knew I didn't go crazy. But so he heard it, and like nothing too crazy that night happened, except once it literally woke me up, and I yell at my roommate to like take his headphones off, and he takes them off and he hears it, and we both look at each other like, what the fuck? And it felt like the room was shaking. And the Ouija board in the common room had just disappeared, which I didn't really believe in Ouija boards being too fucked or anything, but they definitely are. So the second night, I had told some people about it, and like people were posted in the room trying to hear it, but it waited. It waited till everyone had left except me and my roommate. So we hear it again, and the second I fucking hear it and I know for sure that shit is back, I just book it to Joe's room, and I wake him up, and he's fucking grouchy. But once he gets in here and starts hearing that shit for himself, he knows that some fuck shit is going on. So the third night, we basically have a ghost showing party of sorts, and we get everyone in here in like groups of like 4, you don't want to scare off the ghost. And someone hears a rattling behind the fridge, and boom, the Ouija board is fucking back in my room after being gone.
Joe told us about some shadow people that he's been seeing around the dorm. What do you think that has anything to do with it? Do you think that's just Joe?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't see the shadow people as well, but I would possibly credit that towards a good amount of psychedelic use.
Right. Now that's a big point that people have when you try to tell them about this ghost, that psychedelics and other drugs are used frequently at Bard College. So how do we know that this isn't just the tweak story of some group of kids?
Because I'm aware of when I'm tweaking, and multiple people can't all be tweaking about the same shit at the exact same time. And there's a recording of it.
Is Bard College safe from demon extra-dimensional specters? Or could you be next? With no one else to corroborate their stories, we must go only on what we know when judging these people.